guys, welcome. This is Cindy. I am the Scrappy Chick. Welcome to my corner of Flosstube. Today is Flosstube number 20. It is Sunday, November the 2nd. And again, it's been about 3 months. What can I say? I don't know. It's not even that life gets busy. I just procrastinate. I don't have enough to show, and then I have way too much, and I don't deal with it. And yeah, I think if y'all get it, you get it. No big life updates. Everything is going great. No big changes in life. I'm enjoying the fall weather. I'm happy that the heat is gone. If it would stay like 70 to 80 year round, that would be perfection. Even down into the 50s is fine. I don't really like it that cold, but I really hate heat. So fall is my jam, and winter is okay. I am okay with it because I can bundle up and not get hot. But anyway, since it has been so long, I am going to jump right into things today. I have, I believe, 6 finishes since I have seen you guys. 4 new starts and about 8 or 9 whips that I've been working on. I'm going to try to keep it as short as possible today, so it's not a 20-hour video. I'm not going to show any haul, and I'm not going to talk about plans, I don't think. I'll talk a little bit about goals and where I'm at, but that's about it, and do some stats. So anyway, without further ado, let's just jump on in. So I finally finished after 2 years, and it was almost 2 years to the day, Goody Grimwood. This was such a joy to stitch. I loved it every time I pulled it out. I enjoyed, brilliant me, I put it on, put clips on, and I didn't clip it. Let's try again. Every time I got it out, I absolutely loved stitching on this. And I am working on a small that kind of coordinates with it. This is by Plum Samplers. I stitched this on, let me find it, 36 count Spellbound from Needle Bling Design. And I did do all of the called for colors, which was Weeks, Dot Works, Color Classic Works, and some DMC thrown in there. And I just love it. I love it on that purple linen. I think it's fabulous. I finished it a few weeks ago and I was going to order a frame, but it wasn't going to get in until right before Halloween, so I just didn't even bother. I'll get it ready for next year, which is totally fine with me. I have actually a pile of full finish, or not full finishes, a pile of stitched finishes that need to become full finishes. And it is not my favorite thing at all to do. Framing is okay. Pillow making is okay. I don't love either. I haven't really tried a flat fold. I do have a couple of little pen keep, scissor fob type things that I need to work on, but I'll talk about that later when I get to them. So my second big stitch finish, and this one was started last year for Sampler September. This is September's Return, and this is from Maximum Cross Stitch. Ellen is the designer. She's out of Canada. This was the collaboration with Maximum Cross Stitch, Evertotes, and Roxy Floss. So Carrie of Roxy Floss Co. dyed the linen. This is Speculoos, I believe. Oh gosh, I didn't write that one down, sorry. I think that's what it is. It is a 32 count. I stitched 2 over 2. And this is with all the called for Roxy Floss. And I love it. Absolutely love it. The hills were so much fun to stitch, the little patterns. You get a groove with the rhythm. The border, if I had left it all to last, it would have been terrible. If I had started the whole thing at the beginning, I never would have gotten going on it. So a project like this, how I tend to attack it, is I'll either start in a corner or in the middle, and then I'll work my way to an edge if I'm not already at an edge. And I will stitch some border, and I will do a section. And then I will stitch some more border, and I'll do a section. So I kind of treat myself with a section for every little bit of border. So with this one, I had maybe 1 row of brown all the way around here, and then I went back and filled it in, and then added a little every time I went, and that helped to break it up. I did do the alphabet at the end. I used to really enjoy alphabets, but now I've gotten to where I don't know, they're just not, I don't like the thread change. I know it's the same color, but I don't like to carry my thread that far, so I don't like the starting and stopping of the alphabets. I enjoy stitching the letters, but I do not enjoy the starting and the stopping over and over again. But this one wasn't bad. just one alphabet. And overall, again, I just think it turned out adorable, and I need to get a frame for that one as well. So both of those were finished either September or October. I did not bring, well, I did bring it in, but I did not write down the exact dates on everything. I just thought that was going to be too much. The next thing that is a finish, and this, I'll go ahead and show you the pattern. This is from Spooky Autumn Smalls from the Blue Flower. And last year I had done the moth, and this year I did the little raccoon and the pumpkins. And I really want to start one of the other ones, but it got too close to Halloween and I had other things I wanted to do, so I did not start one. But I'm not opposed to doing stitching out of the season, especially something like Halloween, because it's fun. So the one that I just completed is the little raccoon. And this is being stitched on a 32 count fabric that was dyed by me. Excuse me. I'm using all the called for DMC. I am stitching 2/2 on this. And I think he turned out absolutely precious. This is the moth that I had done last year. I've shown you all that quite a few times. But there's the little raccoon to join him now. And I'll show you project bags as I go for, I think, the rest of them. That one is living in this one, which is one of my all-time favorites. So let me bump that over. The next finish is not really a finish, but it is a finish. So Blackbird Designs has the Loose Feathers series, and they have summer, autumn, and winter. This was a sale that was started last year by Floss and Cousins. I think it was called 3 is Better Than 1 sale, maybe. But we started with summer, and I started that last summer, and I finished it finally this summer, the very end of summer. But hey, you know, it is what it is. So that's, to me, a finish because it's one booklet, and I will show you where I am on that. So this is the summer portion, and then we've got autumn and then winter. I had already previously started into the alphabet for autumn, so I am carried, I'm pretty sure, all the way across autumn, but haven't started that internal part yet. And I will hopefully do that before autumn leaves us this year. This was the floss colors for the summer. I haven't added the autumn ones on, but those are the Vicki Clayton silk conversion that is available on her website. I'm stitching this 2/1, and it's on 36 count stone fruit from Lappin Loops. And I'm loving the way it looks on that like kind of peachy brownish fabric with the dark red. So pretty. So yeah, we're calling that a finish, and why wouldn't I, right? All right, let me keep moving. I'm going to try to keep my pile somewhat organized so it's not a disaster to put away. The next one is part of a series. So this is the quintessential Frisian Smalls from Jacob of Modern Folk Embroidery. This was a stitch along, a 5-month stitch along of 5 different projects. So we started with the Peacock Pen Keep. That was August. September was the little scissor fob. October, the Biscornu. This is November, and then we're skipping ahead to January. So these are all being stitched on 32 count porcelain, is I believe what it is, and I'm using Fallow Red. So again, this is a combination with Jacob of Modern Folk Embroidery, as well as Caroline of Evertotes and Carrie of Roxy Floss. There is my Peacock Pen Keep. It's not a full finish. I thought I would get more of them done before I went to fully finish. But I think it's precious. And I really, really liked the alphabet. And then I have started on another, technically this is a whip, but let me go ahead and show it to you while I'm right here. And this is the Biscornu. I skipped August's completely. No, I'm sorry. I skipped September's, the little key fob, because that won't take long at all. September was busy with other things and I wanted to get some finishes done, so I didn't start that one. But in October, I did start the Biscornu. I've got probably most of that done. It's not in a digital format, so I can't tell you the exact percentage, but I'm going to guess that that's at about 60% maybe 65 of this piece. Then you still have the back too. So on the book you can see the fronts and then there's the backs. The back isn't as intensive of a stitch. So that won't take, whoops, am I showing you the wrong one? No, that's the right one. That's the biscornu. I don't think that'll take as long. And then here's the Fowler Red. It's pretty easy to see it in the project since it's a monochromatic. And I do have to say, I think this is the first monochromatic stitch that I have ever done, I believe. Beautiful color. I'm glad I picked that one. Very happy with it. Hope to keep moving with that one soon. I actually put in about 300 stitches today, and that's the folder that this one's living in. So let me keep moving. And then the last finish, I believe, yes. And again, this is part of a bigger series, kind of like a building block sow. And this is not going to fit on my board, so I'm just going to have to hold it up. And this is the Shores of Hawk Run Hollow from Carriage House Samplings. Here's another photo of it. There's the color palette, and that's all of them. Lots of pretty fallish colors, even though that's Shores, it's to me more fallish. Let me hold up where I am, and I will explain. So, I started this with Nancy, the Disorderly Stitcher, back right after leap year in February of last year, with the intent of doing one block every 4 months. Yes, spread out over 4 months. So in 4 years, we would get it all done. So the first year, I stayed great with that first block. Block 2, I actually, let's see, jumped down to do this one second. And I got a ton done, and then I just ran out of time because it was so intensive. And then the next quarter, excuse me, was the fish block. Failed miserably at that one. That one might have fallen over the holidays. I can't remember. The next one I kept up on, that was not the last 4 months, but the 4 months prior to that. And then this is the one that I've just finished. And that is, the moon above will guide my love while he's at sea away from me. The only thing I've changed on this is I have changed, this was supposed to be the coral color, which didn't really show up, so I changed it to the yellow. And the yellow, I did it in this block as well. It's supposed to be a much brighter light yellow, which I really didn't like. It was like a light lemon chiffon, and it just did not vibe. Oh, it's actually, it's this one. I used the wrong color. I really don't care for that color. So I'm changing it to a little bit more of a buttery. But overall, you know, we're getting there. We're getting there. I will this month start my next one, and I think I actually want to go down so I can cut my fabric to size. I finally chopped it this way. The last 2 months I had a little extra time. This one wasn't as stitch heavy, so I did go back and work a little bit more on this house, and I really need to attack those fish, but I really don't want to. I thought about truncating it somehow. Some people have done that and just stitched the blocks they like. So if I left that off and put a different one on, the problem is I really like all but 2. So I'm going to stitch the whole thing. Anyway, so that's that one, Shores of Hawk Run Hollow. Again, I'm going to call that a finish because it was a block finish of the 11 blocks. One is a double. Okay, so then we have new starts. And I don't know that I have all these in order, so let's just see where we get to. I've lost my clips. All right, the first new start, which is actually my last new start, is Blueberry J from Jet X Stitch. And this is one, so she came out with Cherry Magpie first. And I really wanted to stitch it, but I had too many things going on. And then more people started to stitch it. And I was like, oh, I really want to start that. And then the whole world that went to Stitch North started it. And I was having major, major FOMO at that point. But everybody was so far ahead. And I kept thinking, no, I'm not going to cave. I'm not going to cave. I'm not going to do it. So then she came out with Blueberry J, and I'm like, yeah, I am not missing out this time. I'm going to go ahead and start it when the rest of the world starts it. So I did. I started this with a group of people. Curly Q Stitches, Lauren is the only one stitching with Charlie, and there's one more. They started a Sal. And then we have a little Instagram group where everybody kind of chats and everything. Those are the only names that I remember, though, off the top of my head. But anyway, beautiful pattern. It's very fun to stitch, very addicting. And I'll go ahead and show it to you. I'll show you where I'm at. This is where I am on this one. So I had done last month this section, and then this month I have worked on this. I don't think I had any, I hadn't shown this before. It was a new start, so I don't think I have my stats pulled up on this one. So I'm actually using the Roxy Floss code conversion from Carrie at Roxy Floss. And then this is Sea Breeze Linen, 36 count. I'm stitching 2/2. That's kind of becoming my sweet spot. I always liked 2/2 on 32. And now I'm really liking the coverage of 2/2 on 36. So, I don't know. I have one on 40 coming up with one, and I really actually like the coverage of that too. So, anywho, that's where we are on that one. I'm absolutely loving it. I'm dying to get back to it. I put in quite a few stitches yesterday, and I haven't touched it today because I had other things calling me. Hang on, I need a sip of my drink. 1 second. Okay, so that was the first new start. The second new start is the Biscornu that I have already shown you. Then, again, I'm all out of order. So you know what? We're just going to mix the new starts in with the whips. And then that way I don't get myself completely confused, because I will. So let's try to go in order from there. This is the bag for Blueberry J. All right, so next, this one is from Plum Street Samplers. I started this one last December. Annie B's Folk Art started a stitch along, and this is Winter Moon. And the idea, again, was to do it over 1 year. So it was a 1/4 page a month for 8 months, and then the last two pages, I believe we split into half pages because they're smaller. Anyway, this is where I am. I'm excited. It is almost done. So I still have to do my November stitching. My October, I fell a little behind. I really should have had this house complete and maybe a little bit more in here or a little bit more on the tree. So instead of 1,500 stitches each month, it's going to be more like 18 or 19 in November, but that's okay. I will get it done for Christmas. I love Paulette's houses. I absolutely love them. I love stitching those bricks. That's my favorite thing. The nice thing about the way we did this with the 1/4 pages is you weren't having to do that whole roof at once. So you're just doing a little bit of it. Or I was only doing little chunks of this great big border down here and little chunks of the trees. So that was really actually a great way to break that up. Normally I wouldn't do that. I really enjoyed it. Let me show you the floss ring for that. Really, really pretty. All right, so that is Winter Moon, and I do have stats on that one. Since I've seen you guys, I have put in, it was 3,400 plus the last 2 days, so I've put in almost 4,000 stitches on that since I have seen you guys. So let me put that one aside. And next, this is one that I started with my friend Amy, who is AES 1960, maybe, at Instagram, Amy Spyhart. And we started this one together. I'm going to have to put a photo in right here. This is from the Artsy Housewife. It's called Ferns and Flowers. And this is one of the Patreon patterns. And this is where I am on this one. I haven't stitched any on it in the last month. But previously I had part of the border and into here. And then the last month I did this kind of section right through here. But all total, since I've seen you guys, I've put in about 1,200 stitches on that one. So I'd like to get back to that. Those are beautiful fall colors. Sorry, that's living in this bag. Beautiful, beautiful fall colors. And like I said, I did not get to that in October, so I would like to work on that one in November. And I'm stitching that on 32 count biscuit from Roxy Floss Co. And I did my own Roxy Floss conversion. Gigi had actually used 3 colors in the charted colors. And then the rest, I believe, were DMC. And I actually just went ahead and converted them all to Roxy because I've got quite a stash of that going on now. And it's absolutely my favorite floss. The colors are really, really pretty. They're very intense. They aren't super, super variegated, but they are definitely variegated enough to where you can see it. But the beauty is they just don't tangle for me. I don't know what Carrie does to her floss, some kind of magic, and it just glides right through the fabric. I absolutely love it. So anyway, lots and lots of colors. Those are my new favorites, and you will find that I'm stitching more and more and more with Carrie's floss. So the next one is not. The next one is DMC. This was what was called for, and I just stuck to it. This next one as well, I'm going to have to put a picture in because it's digital. And this is from Boomerang Stitches, Amity. And this is, I can't remember what it's called, Ruby Threaded Hummingbirds. This was an exclusive at Spring Mingle from Lindy Stitches. And I want to say, 35 or 40% through this one. That's that gorgeous color palette. Beautiful, bright spring summery colors. And then this one, I had started previously, but since I've seen you guys, I have put in, I don't even have it on my list. I didn't write it down, sorry. Anyway, that's Ruby Threaded Hummingbirds. Oops, it's living in this folder. All right, next. Keep moving. Keep on trucking. Next is Grimm's Haunt. This is the one I think will be a really nice companion to Goody Grimwood. Goody Grimwood, Grimm's Haunt, you know, obviously. I guess that's Grimm. And Goody Grimwood doesn't have a cat in there, but she should, right? Anyway, I started this one last fall. Actually, I did not. I lie. I started this 2 years ago for 12 by 12, New Year's Eve. And I had a piddly little start. I had just the outlines of the Argyle, and now I've filled in quite a chunk of that, and I've mapped out the barn and started mapping out the border. There's the colors. Those are Classic Colorworks, Weeks Dye Works, and DMC. And I am stitching this on a 40 count. I cannot remember what this is. So I'm doing 1/1. And I do like the coverage of 1/1 on 40. I don't particularly care for it on 36. I've got an example I'm going to show you here in a minute. And I really wished I had done 2 strands. But I think this is going to be super, super cute. I probably won't work on it anymore this year. Even though it's really more fall than Halloween, it looks really Halloween to me. And it's living in this cute folder. So that's that one. Let me get that out of the way. And I'm going to move my next pile over. Oh, and then Grimm's Haunt, sorry. So since I've seen you guys, I've put about 1,000 stitches into that one. All right, next. This is killing me. So every time I had seen you guys and every time on Instagram, I kept saying, oh, I never keep up with sales. I'm so bad with them. And Lola Crow's last year, I was doing great, and then I wasn't. And this year, I was determined. And I will tell you, I kept up with this. This is Extraordinary Bird Sow. I will pop a picture in here. And I kept up with this until the very last release. I was about 200 stitches behind when she dropped the last release. And it was all by itself about 1,700 stitches. And I have been doing every release every week and keeping up. And they were 800 to 1,000 maybe. And I was like, okay, so that's 2 weeks. And life happened. I have no idea. I really need to go back and get this one done. But this is where I am. All I have is this guy right here. And then I'm done. I think I have maybe 1,200 stitches left. I forgot to write that down, but I do have to do all the back stitch. I always save my back stitch to the end because I feel like I stitch in hand, and I feel like every time I do my back stitching ahead of time and I roll my fabric, that it just kind of gets all, I don't know, crinkled out of shape or something. It doesn't seem right. I'd rather do it at the very end. But I am super tickled at how this is coming along, almost done. This would really just take a weekend to get it done. Since I've seen you guys in July, I put in about 4,000 stitches on this. So it's got a lot of work. This is on, oh my goodness. This is on a purple linen 32 count Ice Queen from Roxy Floss Co. I do remember. I didn't think I'd remember, but I do remember. But I'm loving that one. And it is living in this. I haven't touched that in the last couple of months, but it's kind of springy summery to me. So that probably won't come out again until next year. But, you know, we'll see on that. Okay, so next up, and I know I'm just flying through these tonight, sorry. I didn't want to keep you guys all day, and I didn't want to keep myself all day either because I need to make dinner still. This is the one I was talking about that's on 36 count, whenever one. I was super excited about the stitch. This is Nettle, one of the animal crackers. It's my very first animal cracker, and I love her. This is what she looks like without her mask because that's a separate piece. But I decided to do it the way Stacy called for it, right? So I did 1/1 on 36, and it's just very, I like the colors. I did my own conversion. That is Roxy Floss. I have no problem with the colors. The whitish color, I think is going to show up way better once she's trimmed out and then standing up against something and she'll have her mask on, because on this, she's very washed out as well. So I don't think that that's the issue. I think it's just that the orange and the black should pop more. And that's really more of a grayish. I think oilcloth was what was called for. Oilcloth or charcoal, I can't remember. And I've picked one called Coal. That's that one. And then the mask and the shoes will be in mascara. Not mascara, I'm sorry. Incredible. Mascara was what was called for. So I think she's turning out really, really cute, but I do wish I had done her 2/2. And again, she's on 36 count. I am using vintage Country Mocha. At the time I ordered her from 123 Stitch, she did not have wing beans, which is the called for, but she had recommended vintage Country Mocha in its place. So I got that. I think the color is fine. I am going to start, I think her name is Ginger. It's the cute little mouse for, what's it called? Jingle Ball. So I'm very excited about that. This is the bag that one's living in. I'm going to put all my animal crackers in there. And I know, you know what, hang on. I did say I wasn't going to show any stash, but I will show you the other 2 animal crackers I had already bought. That one's Bones. He's so cute. You can't see his back. And then Lily. Everybody in the brother has done Lily, and I had to do Lily. Because who doesn't want to dress up for life, really? And then Ginger. And then that will be all of my animal crackers so far. I'm hoping to start that one actually in the next day or 2. We'll see. We will see. Hang on, coffee break. All right. And next is this year's Sampler September. And this is Jane Wood's 1853 from Maximum Cross Stitch. This was also a collaboration between Ellen at Maximum Cross Stitch, Caroline at Evertotes, and Carrie of Roxy Floss Co. And in the book, it has the big sampler, or you could also do the little mattress pillow. And I decided, oh, I want to do that big sampler. And I knew how big this was going into it, but my brain just really wasn't wanting to work apparently at that point in time when I decided that that's what I wanted to do. And I'm going to tell you, let me find it. She is, why can I not find it? She is 302 by 306. That's a pretty big girl. There are, I added it up at one point just for shits and giggles, and there are 37,000 stitches in this, I think. It's a hefty amount. So, again, here's the big picture. I started on the border and came around so I could start attacking that grass. I think that was Carmen from Carmen Pens who had suggested, get that grass done. So right now I'm thinking I'll work a little on the grass, a little on the border, a little on the house, a little on the grass, and just kind of keep spreading across as I go. And I have gotten a pretty good chunk done on this. So here's where I am. This was one of my new starts. I had in the wrong pile. So this is a lot of stitches right there. And I have a few of the flowers started in, and then that's the entirety of the top to bottom border. And I'm not quite halfway. I think halfway is right about here. Something like that. This is being stitched on, I'll tell you, because I don't recall. Because I think this is also speculous, but I don't remember. It's a Roxy Floss color. Linen. Speculous. Okay. Yes, it is speculous. This is the floss ring. Beautiful colors. Look at those pinks. I can't wait to get to the pink house. I'm so tempted because I'm actually right at it. So this is the top of the green before the red starts going over. So the house is right here. And I'm really tempted to just jump right into that house. But I have thus far avoided the temptation. I really want to, but I have not yet. And that's the bag. That was also from Evertotes. All right. I think I've only got two more for you. Oh, and then that one, let's see. So on her, I didn't write her down, but it has been thousands and thousands of stitches on her. I don't remember exactly. So this is one that I started with my friend Joy. I don't know that Joy actually started hers, but we had decided to do a Mirabilia, a fall or Halloween Mirabilia on the last day of the month, and we started this a few months ago. This is Halloween Fairy. This is an old one, actually. And I have done a Roxy Floss conversion. Again, told you my favorite floss. I absolutely love it. I don't know how the light is showing, but the green, that's nerdy, which is, it's to die for. It's really not quite as neon in real life as it keeps coming across on Instagram. So I'm guessing on Flosstube, it may be the same kind of situation. Not really sure. But I'm loving her. I need to do the other whole wing and then all of her dress. So I'm probably a little over a third through. Maybe 40% would be my guess. Maybe 35, something like that. But I think she's absolutely beautiful. I have loved stitching on her. I'm doing her also 2/2, and that's on 36 count lavender tea from Under the Sea. Oh, and she's living in this bag. Because I hit myself on the head. All right, one more. For this one, I'm also going to have to show you a picture because I have it on my Markup XP. And this is Bobble Birds, also from Boomerang Stitches, Amity. Hang on one sec. These are the gorgeous colors. This was a Hannah conversion of Roxy Floss Co. Hannah is Floss Boss and Hannah, if you don't know that name, from Evertote and Roxy Floss Co. And this is where I am on this. And I love this one. Love, love, love. I would really love to get this one done by Christmas. I have been attacking it 1 month at a time. That was 1 month, 2, 3, 4. And my intention was to have it done by Christmas, but I should have been doing 1.5 ornaments a month if I really wanted to do that, because I kept saying, oh, I've got another ornament, I'm good. But now I have, I think, 2 ornaments and 1 bird left to go. So it may not happen this year, or I may you know, pop it out and give it some real love. I think I put about 1,100 stitches in on that one. And also about 1,100 in on Halloween Fairy. I didn't tell you that one. So that's looking in this bag. All right, but let me give you a couple of other stats real quick. So for August, I just started keeping up with this, and I think it's kind of interesting. In August, I stitched 12,650 stitches. September was 13,012. And October was 11,851. I stitched every day in October, even if it was as measly as 45 stitches, which was one day. September, I missed 3 days. And August, I didn't write it down. But I've been keeping up with it. I was doing my bullet journal, and I have since moved to a happy planner because I think they're fun. You can pull the pages in and out. So this is October. So you can kind of see from the colors, you know, what days I worked on one. And then at the beginning of the month, I will put my goals in here. These were the ones I planned to start. This was the one I was hoping to finish. And then sales and whips that I'm working on. So if you look at my highlighted stuff, you can see that I did not start my third spooky small that I wanted to, but I started my other ones. And I worked on all my sales that I was supposed to. I did not pull out Ferns and Flowers, and I wanted to pull out Midnight Watch, and I didn't get that one pulled out. So that's how I'm kind of keeping up with that. And then at the very end of the month, I'm tallying my stitches, because I think that's kind of interesting to see that I worked more on nettle than anything. That was my animal cracker. I put 2,200 stitches in on her, 2,300 actually, 2,000 in on Blueberry J, and almost 2,000 on Jane Woods, and a couple others hit over the 1,000 mark. I just think that's kind of neat. It's kind of fun. A lot of it I track, but I'm a math nerd anyway, so I have no problem literally sitting and counting my stitches as I go. So for November, I said I wasn't really going to talk much about plans, but let me see if I can tell you what I'm kind of thinking. So I need to start another Frisian Small, which means I need to finish a Frisian Small. I want to finish Winter Moon. I want to start for the Jingle Ball, the Animal Cracker Ginger, the little mouse, and then I signed up to do the wreath with Robin Pickens. I'm excited about that. And then I really want to start this month on Loose Feathers on the Autumn. That was the Blackbird design. And then my whips that I still want to work on for sure are Blueberry J, Jane Woods, Ferns and Flowers, my quarter block of Shores of Hawk Run, and Bobble Birds. And then I'm not going to fill it out any more than that. I tend to work on 8 or 9 projects maybe in a month. Seems to be kind of my sweet spot there. So we'll see. But I'm also, 2 months ago when I started finishing a couple of things, I was really in that mood to just pull out some whips that were almost finished and get them done and get less on my list. And then the next thing you know, I've started, 3 things this month. Last month, sorry. But I have 3 more I want to start this month. So it's just a revolving door of the whips going in and going out. And I think I'm in the mid-50s. I'll let you know at my whip parade at the end of the year. But I think my count is still somewhere in there. I would love to get it down to like 40. That would be great. Just get some of them knocked out. I think I need to go through and probably UFO a couple other projects from years ago when I first started and be done with them. That I'm just not going to do. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway. But I think that's it for me today. If you are new here, I'm glad you found me. Please consider liking and subscribing. That would be great. That would help my channel. If you're a returning viewer, thanks for coming back and hanging out with me and my craziness. And I talk too fast, I know. I think the light was better this time. I tried outside last time, and I think that was an epic disaster. So we won't do that again. At least, it wasn't the light. It was the cricket noise. The light was good, but the cricket noise was awful. So I probably won't do that again. But anyway, thanks for popping in. Leave me a comment, just anything. Let me know what your favorite fabric count is. Let me know what your favorite floss is. Let me know if you've done any animal crackers, or let me know if you're going to the Jingle Ball and which classes you're doing. It's great hearing from you guys. And I will see you hopefully before 3 months. Thanks for coming. Bye bye.